All right, let's talk about a new threat that's tearing through the software supply chain. It's been named Shai-Hulud, and for a very good reason. Its destructive power is straight out of science fiction. We're going to break down this worm today, and trust me, this is not just another piece of malware. It's fast, it's intelligent, and it's a parasitic attack on the very foundation of trust in our entire dev ecosystem. So, let's get right into it.
The name Shai-Hulud was definitely not chosen at random. Just like the sandworms from Dune, this malware campaign operates with a kind of destructive creativity that feels both terrifyingly real and just devastatingly powerful. It's a digital monster for sure, and its impact is anything but science fiction.
So get this, in just 72 hours, a campaign they're calling Shai-Hulud, the Second Coming, compromised over 25,000 GitHub repositories. At its peak, researchers were spotting 1,000 new compromised repos every 30 minutes. This is malware moving at machine speed, not human speed.
And look, this wasn't just some random spray-and-pray attack. It hit packages from major, trusted organizations. We're talking about foundational tools that thousands upon thousands of developers rely on every single day. The full impact of this, we're probably still figuring that out.
So, the big question is, how did it get in? This is where we really see the evolution, the second coming part. The malware's first trick is how it bypasses the very tools we built to stop it. It's a Trojan, but probably not the kind you're used to.
The answer is just brilliant and incredibly devious. See, most of our security scanners are built to watch the Node.js environment for anything suspicious. So what does the malware do? It just doesn't use Node. It brings its own execution environment with it. It literally downloads and uses the legitimate Bun Runtime to do its dirty work, making it completely invisible to security tools that aren't even looking for it. So let's trace the infection here. It all kicks off with one tiny, malicious preinstall script in a package's package.json. You run NPM install, and boom, the trap is sprung. First, the script checks for the Bun JavaScript runtime. Don't have it? No problem. It goes and grabs the official, legitimate version for you. How helpful, right? And then it uses that perfectly normal Bun runtime to execute its real payload. By doing this, it completely sidesteps Node.js and all the security scanners watching it. It's a classic Trojan horse maneuver.
Stealing your credentials is bad enough, but that's really just the beginning. The real terrifying danger of Shai-Hulud is how it propagates. It actually mimics patterns from the natural world, but in the most twisted way you can imagine.
In engineering, we have this amazing concept called biomimicry. It's a beautiful idea, really. We study nature's designs that have been perfected over millions of years to build better, more efficient technology. Like, for instance, engineers looked at the surprisingly aerodynamic shape of the boxfish to design a more fuel-efficient car. So biomimicry is all about learning from nature's genius to solve problems in a constructive way. It's about building things up. But this malware, it takes that elegant concept and just completely perverts it, turns it totally on its head.
It doesn't mimic the aerodynamics of a fish. No, it mimics the life cycle of a parasite. It's not here to innovate. It's here to infect, to spread, and to use its host to find the next victim.
And this just perfectly illustrates that parasitic behavior. First, it hunts for your NPM authentication token in your local config files. Once it has it, it calls the NPM whoami endpoint to make sure the token is valid and grab your username. Then, the worm finds every single package you maintain, up to 100 of them. It injects itself into your code, bumps the version number, and then uses your own credentials to publish new, infected versions out to the world. It literally turns you, the trusted developer, into patient zero.
As if all that wasn't enough, Shai-Hulud has one more trick up its sleeve. And honestly, this is the nastiest part. It's a persistent, nearly invisible backdoor that turns your own infrastructure into an ambush predator, just waiting for its master's command.
I mean, think about it. Once the initial credential theft and package poisoning is done, how does an attacker keep a foothold on your system for later? They could try to install a traditional backdoor, but that might get flagged. So of course, they came up with something way more clever.
That's right, it doesn't need to call home to some sketchy IP address in another country. It uses the tools you use and trust every single day right under your nose. It weaponizes your own GitHub account against you.
So here's how this nightmare works. Using your stolen GitHub token, the malware creates a new, public repository in your account. Then, it installs a self-hosted GitHub Actions runner on your compromised machine and registers it with that new repo. And finally, it commits a workflow file that triggers on one of the most harmless-seeming events possible, a new comment in the Discussions tab. The attacker can now just log into GitHub, post a comment on your repo, and your CI/CD pipeline will execute that comment as code on your machine. It is a completely persistent command and control channel hiding in plain sight.
Okay, that was the what and the how. Now for the most important part of this whole thing. What you need to do right now. There is absolutely no room for error here. This is your brutal, honest-to-goodness to-do list.
Okay, I need you to listen very carefully. Go check your package.json files right now. You are looking for a pre-install script that's running something called setup_bun.js. If you see that, and you know you didn't put it there, you have to assume your entire system is compromised. I'm not kidding. Don't try to be a hero and clean it. You nuke the machine, reformat the whole thing, and after that, you rotate every single credential that machine has ever seen. I'm talking cloud keys, API tokens, SSH keys, GitHub tokens, all of it, everything.
Look, this isn't being paranoid. This is the reality of dealing with automated, self-propagating malware. As the team at Docker Security put it, these attacks are specifically designed to outrun a traditional human response. The only way to win is to match their speed with decisive, immediate action.
And if you need one last reason to take this as seriously as a heart attack, here it is. The malware has a failsafe. If it runs and successfully steals your credentials, you get the whole nightmare we just talked about. But if it fails, if it can't find an NPM or GitHub token, it doesn't just quietly give up. It executes a command to recursively delete your entire home directory. There is no harmless outcome here.
At the end of the day, all of our software is built on a foundation of trust. We trust the maintainers, we trust the registries, we trust the code that we import. Shai-Hulud doesn't just steal keys. It poisons that trust at its very source. It forces us all to ask a deeply uncomfortable question. What happens when the map of dependencies we rely on every single day is a lie?